Good morning for AM 1340, 99.5 FM, WGRV. I'm Reed Seals, and I'm here for our monthly interview with Greene County Mayor Kevin Morrison. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Reed.
So first up, how is the budget process going, and are there still no plans for a tax increase?
Reed, the budget process is largely complete. It went very well this year, as it has with the two previous years. We're on track to approve a budget prior to the start of the fiscal year for the third year in a row. Greene County's never done that, but we're on track to do that. We have a couple of budget workshops for the commissioners set up on the 25th and the 27th of this month, where we will go department by department and lay out any explanation or provide any type of justification for budget request. And as far as a tax increase, there's not going to be a tax increase. We're not going to entertain any type of tax increase. We've been very diligent at securing grant funding and other sources of funding. The revenue projections look very good, so there's not going to be a need for a tax increase this year.
Why do small donations, such as the $50 from Modern Woodmen to EMA that was voted on Monday, why do they have to be approved by the county commission?
Well, all of those small donations, and we have several departments that from time to time receive donations from members of the general public, and we have to account for those. The Office of the Comptroller, not only are they concerned with, very large amounts of money, but they're concerned with very small amounts, and the small amounts can get you in as much trouble if not properly accounted for, just like the big amounts can. And we take that very seriously. It seems like a very sort of arduous, cumbersome process for such a small amount, but every cent, every dollar of taxpayer money, whether it be donation or tax dollars, we want to account for properly, so that we receive a clean audit, and again, we're not in trouble. So,
tell us about the updates to the Range and Firearms Sports Complex.
The announcement that was made Monday night was that the TWRA sent us an award letter for a grant that we had requested back about a year or so ago. We started the work more than a year or so ago, and we recently received that award for the expansion of the Greene County Range and Firearms Sports Complex down there on Halhead Road. That's a magnificent facility that other surrounding counties do not have. For the folks that have not been able to get down there, that is an exceptional place. But we were awarded $567,000, of which Greene County has to match $63,000. Now, I'm pleased to report that the $63,000 that Greene County has to put into the pot is not taxpayer dollars. That can be satisfied with in-kind labor, as well as the value of some land that we had to add to the range, a little over 4 acres there on the backside, to install a sporting clays course. And essentially what sporting clays are, it's a circuit set up very similar to like a putt-putt course or a golf course, only somewhat larger. And participants, shooters, would move from station to station and then receive a variety of targets from different directions and perspectives, some in the air, some rolling on the ground, left to right, right to left, forward and back. It's a very fun thing. We plan to have 2 or 3 UTVs to take the shooters around this course, and the stations would be somewhere between 15 and 18 stations along the perimeter road there. But we did receive an award letter from TWRA for that amount. We're very pleased that we're able to do that, because we can make that complex down there much better without the use of one single local taxpayer cent, and have something that is going to be an attraction for other people to come here and contribute to us and our economic development.
What is the current status of masks in Greene County, and any updates on how vaccinations are progressing in the county?
Well, the current status of masks, obviously, I let the mask mandate expire back at the end of February. The CDC guidance has most recently changed. As it has sort of throughout this process, it's been very difficult for local authorities and I'm sure businesses and industry to make decisions based on what the CDC may be thinking at the moment or from week to week. But the CDC guidance now is that if you're vaccinated, then a mask is not necessary either indoors or outdoors. They do encourage masks for those that are unvaccinated, but largely now it's an independent business or industry decision as to whether or not they want employees or customers or patrons to wear a mask. I know that here locally we have some grocery stores that still have, for instance, employees in masks, which is perfectly fine. If that's what their leadership or their corporate chooses to do, I think there's some retail outlets that do the same thing here. The school systems, for instance, are under different guidance from the Tennessee Department of Education and the guidance from their local boards of education. So we don't necessarily have any say in that and never have. So they're making independent decisions. I think the Greeneville School Board relaxed some of the restrictions or regulations, their policies on mask going forward. I don't know exactly what the Greene County school system has decided or if they're going to decide any type of different policy for this year, but that's largely the mask status in Greene County. So for those that want to continue to wear one, that's perfectly fine. For those that aren't, then that's fine too. You're certainly more protected if you're vaccinated. And then the status of the vaccinations. Here in Greene County, we sit officially just below the 30% mark. The Greene County or Green Valley development site location, the pod, if you will, was officially closed earlier this month, the last day being on Friday the 7th. And the vaccinations, if you want one now, can be done, very conveniently at many of the pharmacies. Many of the doctors' offices now have the vaccine available. And I know the Tennessee Department of Health, I think in conjunction with Ballard, I know Ballard has some mobile vans that they're deploying around the region to go to different locations for those folks that haven't had an opportunity in sort of a more convenient way to vaccinate people. So the convenience of being able to get a vaccination if you want one certainly has picked up tremendously, eliminating the need for waits and lines and things like that. So that effort continues to go forward, and as that effort goes forward, then the percentage of those folks that are vaccinated obviously rises. We sit in the region, Greene County does, at about 4th place out of the 8-county Northeast Tennessee region for vaccinations, so we're sort of right in the middle. But about 35% of our population is currently vaccinated fully.
And tell us about current economic growth and jobs in Greene County.
Well, we received a great report Monday night read on from the partnership on the status of jobs, business and industry, the economic development in Greene County. We've had sort of a tremendous, and we've never stopped working, even through the pandemic, hand in hand with the partnership in the town of Greeneville to continue to recruit and to support our local business and industry that's planning expansions or improvements in their facilities. And that's largely where a good portion of the jobs the job creation will come from. About 80% will come from businesses that are already here. One of the things that I pointed out Monday night that we need to crow about is the partnership president, Mr. Jeff Taylor, doing an outstanding job. He has a tremendous amount of energy and proactiveness for our community. and he is getting ready to do another trifecta round of TIF and pilot programs for business and industry here in town, and that's what we have to do in order to compete and land better paying jobs, more industry, diversify the business and industry that we have, so that during any economic downturn, we can continue to provide good paying jobs for those going forward. So we've not stopped the recruiting process. We've got some pretty big announcements coming pretty soon, so I'll just tease you with that. But right now, as it stands, we have somewhere between 400 and more than 500 jobs that are available to anybody that would want a job, that would qualify, and that's in a diverse section of business, industry, restaurants, retail. We receive down at my office probably a call or two every week of business or industry needing, wanting, begging and pleading for employees, and we want to keep that stream healthy and plentiful for jobs and anybody that would want to be looking for one. So we want Greene County to be a great place to live, work, and play. And that's just a part of it. So.
Well, I want to thank Greene County Mayor Kevin Morrison for joining us this morning. This is Reed Seals for AM 1340 and 99.5 FM WGRV.